Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're playing Skyrim, and as you may have noticed, it is quite clearly modded Skyrim. I am currently running 676 mods. These are not so hard to install as you might imagine. The collections I use are quite simple and straightforward. We're going to go over some of the what I call safe loading procedures for rather large mod collections like this. So whenever doing a fresh install of a new collection, or in fact updating an old one, I find it's always best to create a new character. They don't have to be anything special, but I will be creating the character for the run here today. So the three collections I am using are Immersive and Pure by Canliberk. It is an amazing collection, extremely easy to install, designed to be usable by even a first-time modder. It is incredibly helpful and expands on a huge amount of the game. It really is worth a look. That's available on Nexusmods. I'm also using the INA Next Gen Graphics add-on. This collection is made by XilaMonstrr, another amazing curator and modder. Again, is quite easy to install and use, although I would like to point out that it is not designed for Immersive and Pure, which is what I'm using it for, but so far testing has gone well. The third and final collection is just a small collection that I put together of extra mods that I add to the ones I've already previously mentioned. It includes features like tea brewing, flying, a grappling hook because I was just really interested to see how that works, and some other minor upgrades. Nothing too significant, and I'm trying to improve on the installation process for that to minimize the amount of errors. But now that we're here at the character creation screen, let's just quickly make ourselves our character. We are going to be a Khajiit. I'm going to just go with one of the presets. Which one was it? Yeah, okay, that one. That's not what I was trying to get into. Okay, we'll go with black kitty, we'll make him a big kitty. And eyes, let's see what we got here. I kind of like that, actually. Okay, so that's going to be our character for now. We are not going with the default. This is going to be Dova Cat. This is for a comedy run, so just in case anyone is wondering, I do plan to make a lot more of these videos. So, now that we've gotten past character creation, we're going to be prompted with this welcome message. I've already read it about 1,000 times, so we're all good here. You can just skip through that after you've read it. Same with this message, just describing that you're in kind of a strange place. And this is where I highly recommend not doing anything other than closing those windows as they pop up. This is, as you can tell, in the top left of my screen there, because all of the mods are currently loading, initializing, and configuring. So this is something you really want to go correctly, and you don't want to do anything that interferes with it. Something that is known to interfere with it is opening the menu, so please try to avoid hitting tab or escape until this process completes. The final line of code you're looking for on first time launch is after the Odin items have been added to your world. At that point, we will be making a quick save and then quick loading that save. You will notice that the load process has changed slightly. This is because most of the mods are pre-initialized at that point, and it is now just initializing certain patches and other mods that are dependent on those first set of mods. Then I like to do a third one where I do another quick save and reload, let that boot up, and then I will make a regular manual save. I find that this avoids any errors created by interfering with the load process. After the first time, NFF startup tasks complete, which you can see there, will be typically the last thing you see pop up. But remember, on this first time load, you are looking for Odin items have been added. It does take quite some time, and you may wind up with your camera going into the third person sort of rotation look. It's a little bit tedious, I know. Some of you may not be as patient as I am. However, it is worth waiting. I have completely crashed a game before corrupting the entire save, which is why I do this. So there you go. Odin items have been added to the world. Throw down a quick save, reload that save. Now this time the load process will be a little bit quicker. And as I said, we are looking for NFF startup tasks have been completed. And there we go. So I'm going to do another quick save and quick load just to play it safe, and then we will be good to go. Okay, so just waiting for all that to initialize this time round. So as you can see, we are in quite clearly a new place. The vanilla start has been eliminated, so you're unable to actually start as a prisoner. This just cuts out a lot of the stuff that you were forced to endure when playing the vanilla. And quite honestly, I very much appreciate it, given how many times I've gone through the beginning. So one of the things you'll notice is the Dragonstone. It's right here. That's curious. And if you read this note, oh hey, you can completely skip Bleak Falls Barrow. Another part of the game we've all done probably 1,000 times. I pretty much always grab that. There's no need to go back to Bleak Falls Barrow unless you want the Golden Claw for a collection. There's also a welcome note welcoming you to the realm of Lorkhan, explaining sort of where you are. It's a very nice touch. Now this is one of my personal favorite things that they've put in, the Lorkhan Book of Patrons. This is a really nice way of just showing who contributed to the project and to like thank them for participating and being part of this. I think that's a really neat little way of doing that, so I always grab that. Free spell books, so obviously grab those. Money, tons of items absolutely everywhere in here. And so the first thing I'm going to show you is actually over here, where we see this note here about classes and curses. So what this note basically explains is that you can play as a restrictive class, more like a traditional RPG. So you will have certain restrictions and limits, but at the same time you're a very specialized sort of character, and you could become quite powerful. There are obviously a number of different warrior type classes, and then there are like the scout and archer classes there. Keep coming around here. Monk class, bard, because yeah, being a bard apparently is actually a thing now. So having instruments and being able to know songs and have that actually be relevant makes the fact that the Bard's College even exists a lot more worthwhile. Otherwise, I don't really see much of a point of ever going to the Bard's College. Then there are also these curses. Now, I haven't honestly messed around too much with the curse and class systems, but they provide you with different strengths or penalties, allowing you to fully customize your gameplay. So I'm just going to loop back around here, but as you can see, there are plenty of options to choose from to customize your own experience. Over here, there's a note here about factions. Factions are yet another interesting thing that have been added in, and is basically what most of you are thinking. Groups of people of a similar mindset, yada yada yada. You are able to, therefore, join different factions. So there's Leave Draugr faction, Join Draugr faction. And then over here, we've got a Warlock faction. This one over here, we've got a Bandit faction. Over here, we've got the Forsworn faction. So you can basically join any political group, essentially, in all of Skyrim, which is really neat. So we're going to continue our little stroll around here. Obviously there's tons of plants, and you can quite clearly see they've been massively worked over and look absolutely beautiful. Just plain and simple. Like I said, there's tons and tons and tons of items you can grab. Magical items, armor, tons of gold. This is a great place to really just get started. There's even some firewood here and a woodcutter's axe, so you can chop wood if you decide you want to start off with a stack of wood for some reason. And something else you may have noticed is all of these purple crystals floating around. These allow you to teleport to different points around Skyrim. I believe all key locations are possible to access through this system. Although I will point out that starting at High Hrothgar can sometimes be a bit of a mistake, as you don't actually have access to the monastery right away. So places like Knife Point Mine, especially if you're, say, a bandit, might allow you to have a little bit of a leg up start-wise. Also, all of the Guardian Stones are present. They're scattered about in different locations. I'm on my way to the one that took me the longest time to find, which is the Thief Stone. So what I'm going to do is just climb on up here. There's a few jumping puzzles that you can do to get around in some places now too. There's what the new thistle looks like. I think that looks pretty good. More items. Then we go up here. There's even a little book about somebody who's been up here before. Oh, wiggling around a little too much and I fell off. This does happen. I'm not exactly a pro player at this game, but, you know, I enjoy it. Okay, so we're back up that one. Now let's see if we can actually get up this one this time. Yep. Alright, we'll just grab this book here. I don't need to read it again. Tons of hanging moss just everywhere in this place. And then we'll jump across here. More items, and here is the Thief Stone. Kind of a roundabout way to get here, but hey, it's here. So now we'll just work our way back down. Also, fun fact, if you happen to fall off the edge up here, unless you hit something, you just respawn right here. So you can't fall off the edge of the world and die, you will just safely come back to the spawn point. So there are a number of NPCs you can talk to, some of them you can even trade with. The one I'm looking for right now is this guy here, Farron Alteris. He is a free follower. Followers are always great.
Lead the way.
They can carry your stuff, they can fight stuff for you, it's brilliant. So let's just talk to him here and let's see what we can do. He can also train me in two-handed weapons, very nice. And trade some things with you, that's normal, but what is this? I'd like to see your additional follower inventory.
Of course.
Well, let's take a look here. Basically what this is an infinite zero-weight bag of holding. It has no limits and it does not add to his encumbrance. He will also not use items from this inventory. If you want him to use equipment or potions that you're giving him, because NPCs can now use potions and do things like dodge roll, you have to put that in the normal inventory, which is the I'd like to trade some things with you. But the additional follower inventory is infinite and does not have any effect on encumbrance. It is so useful for people like me who tend to pick up absolutely everything that isn't bolted down. So we'll just have him follow us around in case we decide to pick up some stuff. And then of course there's more books everywhere. I mean, I really like this place. They've put a lot of work into making this place like really excellent. There's a nice sword here that you can take. There's actually, you know, like everything in here you can take. Nothing is considered stealing in here. You have pretty much free reign of whatever you want. Which again is really good if you're trying to set yourself up for a quicker start. There's lots of bees and beehives around here. Bees can be kind of hard to find once you're in Skyrim, so sometimes if I'm doing a run where I'm going to need some bees, I'll hang around here and collect some bees. Yeah, there's spriggans, but they're just there. They don't seem to do much, but hey. They do make the buzzing sound though, so sometimes you think there's bees around and there's not. So we're just going to take a quick tour around some of these other pathways that you can venture around in this area before we take a look inside the structure in the middle. So we've come up here. Let's see what this place is. Oh, that'll take us to the Riften Forest. That's an interesting location to go to, actually, and wouldn't be a bad place to start at. Mage robes in here. More spells. Then over here, there's Atronak. Again, won't do anything. Just kind of stands there. And this just basically loops around the perimeter of the whole place. So then we can come back down here and we'll make our way towards the stairs heading up. I did just realize I don't have my sprint set yet. When installing Immersive Impure or the Immersive and Adult collection, I do recommend you change your sprint key. It is because there is a weird overlap involving the sprint key. So I changed mine personally to the mouse 4 on my mouse. I know not everybody has 4 buttons on their mouse, but it's just very convenient and handy. So you can get around behind the structure up here, and this is actually a cask of mead. I didn't even realize this was accessible for the longest time. So we'll just make our way back around. There's a couple of entrances to the building, which, you know, is kind of nice in case you come up on a different spot. And then back here, there is this. This will take you to Gloomshade. It is the inside of the same building, but essentially in a different dimension, I think. It's a little darker, abandoned, but hey, there's more free stuff here. So go in here, grab some nice stuff. Always a good idea to be well equipped, or at the very least have stuff to sell. So there's like skooma here, we can grab that, very nice. A couple of daggers, very nice. Empty wine bottles. Now, these are something that I use because of the additional mods that I have added, which is for the tea brewing. So I need empty bottles and I need buckets. I'm not entirely sure what tea in a bucket's gonna be like, but I'm certainly gonna find out. So there's actually a couple of really nice weapons. There's sometimes just sort of normal ones, but then you get ones like this. Orcish Greatsword of Absorption. Nice. Ooh, a bucket. I'll take that. Skulls everywhere, basically. This is just a peculiar glitch when they load in. They always seem to be floating. I'm not entirely sure why that happens, but it does. So I'm just going to grab all those materials there. Oh, yeah. I'm going to grab that sword, because that's actually probably the sword I'm going to use. Oh, no, not that one. There we go. Okay, now these smaller shards are a little bit different, as you may have guessed. When I walked up, it says Gloomshade, but I'm in Gloomshade. This does something a little bit different that I, again, did not know for a very long time. So let's interact with it. We are now upstairs in that same building, except we're not. This is a sort of alternate version of the upstairs of that other building. So there is like a chest with a bunch of items, more potions and poisons, more stuff there, more books, some more potions, strange bag with a skull in it. And then this door that you can't interact with. That's because there's nothing on the other side of it in this sort of dimension. So we can now return, but you'll notice there's 2 gems. One kind of looks like it's pointing down, one kind of looks like it's pointing up. This one will take us to the upstairs in the other version of Gloomshade that we just came from. This will take us back to the spot we left from. So let's actually check out the alternate upstairs by using this stone. we are now in the alternate upstairs, and there is a master vampire here. We are, of course, going to just beat the living hell out of him with this sword that we picked up. Surprisingly easy given the frost damage. So, yes. Master Vampire dealt with. And more stuff to loot, which is always excellent. Okay, so now that we've been up here, we can actually use this door to go back downstairs and exit the building. So we'll just leave here. I'm not picking everything up because I'll probably come back here outside of the video to collect everything, because you do get a spell to come back here whenever you like. So let's just put that away and go inside. So there's two NPC merchants in here. There's one who's basically just a shop merchant, and the other one's more a blacksmith. In case you wanted to sell a bunch of stuff before you leave this place. But again, nothing in here counts as stealing, so you can help yourself to whatever gear you want. It's very, very, very useful for getting started. My load times can be quite long. Part of that is because I am recording on a computer that I hadn't ever intended to record on, and part of it is just the sheer number of mods I'm pumping into Skyrim. Overall, performance is good, but we will be going over a few spots where I suffer performance issues even in vanilla Skyrim, so by no means should those spots be considered a problem as a result of the mods. It's definitely my own fault. This is something I've never seen before, so I'm going to take it. Dwarven Claws. I am down to try that. Again, tons of equipment, weapons, armor. Ooh, I do want that shield. The Shield of Lorkhan is great because it adds to your carry capacity. That's all. That's why I like it. So then we can come over here. You can help yourself to a pile of amulets, which is always nice because amulets are actually quite powerful. There's a couple of locked cases, which are worth picking when you have the time to actually do so. Even more over here, potions, wine, a couple of locked strong boxes, good stuff. And then we have like the walls of armor. This is amazing selection of armor. You can basically outfit yourself however you like. This will take us upstairs, but of course we are not going to take the normal way upstairs. We are going to take the crazy crystal thing, so that we go upstairs to the alternate upstairs, where there's a couple of dwarven artifacts, soul gems, some books, troll skull, kite and shield, some more stuff over there, chest again, potions and stuff in the barrel, and wait, I can interact with this door. I couldn't do that before in the other one. Let's go out here and see what's here. Oh, I seem to be on a upper tier balcony of the building we were just in. There is a little bit of hanging moss over here on this side, up there and down here. You're able to get that easy enough. And this is actually the stone to take you to High Hrothgar. So unless you know how to get to that alternate version of the upstairs, you're not going to be able to teleport yourself to High Hrothgar. Alright, so we've seen all of this. Let's go to the normal upstairs. Alright, some more books. Oh, some spells. We'll take those. A scroll. We'll take that. And a merchant who's like another mage, so she can train you a little bit if you want. There's some more stuff to loot. A couple of leeks and a dragon's tongue there. Pelt over here. You know, just some more lootables there and another merchant. So basically we have explored the entirety of the realm of Lorkhan as far as I know. And we're going to go and take a quick peek over at Helgen, which is my preferred starting location, and I will show you why. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so there's a couple of things I should point out about Helgen. I have installed included with my collection, although it wasn't intended to be included, I had thought I had removed it, is the mod Helgen Reborn. Now, the trigger for Helgen Reborn requires that a number of the triggers from the vanilla start fire, and those triggers, probably won't fire, given that there is no vanilla start anymore. So I tend to go back through Helgen to try and trigger as many as possible in the hopes that it's enough. But the main reason I go back to Helgen is because there's a chest that has 250 steel arrows in it, which is a terrific way to get some starting ammunition. So I'm just gonna make my way up the road here. And if I remember correctly, as we approach, we should still see Alduin leave, which is one of the multiple triggers. There he goes. Alright. And then actually one of the mods included in my collection is the Traveler's Inn. This is where you get the key. This dead guy named John. So that's another reason to come here, actually. So I'm just going to open this gate so that I don't accidentally forget. If they're closed when I come back, it probably means the event triggers I'm hoping to fire have fired. Okay, so we'll just make our way through this building, back down these stairs, we'll jump up over here, might have to do some wiggling, there we go. There's a barrel with some stuff in it there, but the one I'm more interested in is actually these two barrels over here. They tend to have huge amounts of building supplies and crafting materials. So if you're planning on building a homestead, or if you're just going to be crafting some gear for yourself, this is a great way to get some early materials, especially since your follower now has an infinite inventory. Then you can go down here, there's just a couple of burned dead people, you might get some gold or bone meal. Okay, so we're now actually done peeking through on this side, and we can continue along the path of the vanilla start where you exit by dropping down over here, cutting up through this building, yada yada yada. We've all done it 1,000 times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn down here into the area where you have to decide between following Rayloff into that door or following Hadvar into that door. So you can, of course, loot the captain here if you want. She's got some pretty decent gear. And then what we're going to do is we're going to enter through the door that you would normally go through with Hadvar. This is because this leads you to the chest with the arrows. There's also a bunch of Imperial equipment that you can take if you're looking to outfit yourself or just build up a stockpile of stuff to sell. I do apologize for the load times. Alright, so here we are. This chest is kind of weird. It automatically closes and it's always empty. This chest is the one that you're interested in. So there's a letter to a friend, gold, some equipment. Although I didn't see the arrows this time. Curious. I was positive that was the chest I was getting them from. So let's take a look over here. Oh, the gold is actually on the table this time too. It's normally on the floor. Curious. Anyway, just some random peculiarities. Ah, here's the arrows. I must have had the chests confused. Okay, so there we go. I'm not going to bother with the rest of the stuff. And of course there's the regular swords and stuff too that you can normally get. I'm going to pull that to open this door, because I believe that has to happen. And then we can go through over here, open this door. And of course, this guy's already dead, so you can steal his stuff. Not that he really has much other than his equipment. We'll go through here. So we're going to make our way down towards... And then this has to happen. We're going to make our way towards the storeroom here and then down to the torturer's room. And obviously there's like some potions and stuff you can pick up around here. Very useful. I'm going to grab those. And I'm not going to spend too much time in here. Just going to try and get through. So that's successfully all blocked up. That's good. Make our way down. So we've got the torturer, a couple of stormcloaks whose AI are broken, and the torturer's assistant. Again, basically all of their AIs are broken. They don't know to fight each other. The vanilla start has deactivated them to that extent, so they basically just don't function. The only reason I'm doing this is because I want the spell. Otherwise, most of this is just a waste of time if all you're doing is trying to get the triggers to fire. There is, of course, gold down there with the dead guy. And you can, of course, loot the skeletons. The corpse guy never has anything on him, but the skeletons sometimes have money. Then the reason I'm continuing beyond that point is because I'm trying to make sure the vanilla triggers fire. Otherwise, there is no reason to come this far down. I will show you the reasons why there is no reason to come down here in just a minute. We just got to make our way around. So, problem one. That bridge needs to go down. But there's no lever. So, how do I get around this? Well, I open the console, I click on it, and I TCL. Boom. Okay, it doesn't exist anymore. Hopefully that works. Then, dead guy here, some money, coin purse, potion. Excellent. So here we are. In the tunnel where we should be. Well, I guess where we shouldn't be, given the mods. Alright, so we're going to come out here, and there's going to be some spiders. This is totally fine, because of course we are equipped with a really good sword. And we have an immortal companion who has a giant two-handed warhammer. Okay, so that's all that dealt with. Let's just continue on our way. There's no sense wasting any more time. Alright, so here we are here. Oh, look, there's Bear. Okay. Sword ready. Hello, Bear. And goodbye, Bear. And then we find Broken Hadvar. Hello, Broken Hadvar. Your AI is completely shut off. So you can talk, I can interact with you a little bit, but you don't know to go anywhere other than pace back and forth because you're a total potato. Okay. Then we're going to TCL on this gate as well, so that we can walk through it. And now we can exit the cave, which is one of the final vanilla triggers that need to fire. Hopefully, I've caused enough of them to fire for Helgen Reborn to work. If it doesn't, I will simply remove it from my collection so that no one else has any confusion. Right, so we are now outside, and we are going to make our way down towards Riverrun, or Riverwood I should say, in a fairly vanilla-ish fashion, but as you can tell, the entire environment has been overhauled dramatically. Skyrim looks spectacular. The weather effects have been redone, so they also look spectacular. Draw distances and detail, excellent. I really can't emphasize how much I am impressed with the work that these mod curators have done to make such easy-to-use collections that run so well and look so good. Now we are approaching one of the first areas where even in vanilla Skyrim I experienced the exact same problem. I still have not been able to narrow down what it is, but for some reason this area causes me to have frame loss most of the time. So, yeah, you can see some jitter there, but it's actually not too bad this evening. So, you know, kind of normal items, pick up a few things. Dead Heroes stuff there. Regular Guardian Stones. So that all looks more or less normal. Bit of an alchemy stand, though I think that's fairly new. And then, of course, you can go down here and find the lady who has the fishing rod and the book on fishing, although I think it might be a guy this time? I don't know. I don't really care. So, of course, you can take the fishing map, you can grab the money and steal from their chest, yada yada yada. Especially if you're in survival mode, this is a really great place to loot up to get started. Alright, so you can probably see where I've lost, you know, a few frames here and there through that area. Again, not really sure what specifically is causing it. I've eliminated everything that I could think of and then ran it with vanilla and had the same problem. So, still working on that. If I figure it out, I will pass that information along. Just in case anyone else is having the same issues. If anyone is curious, I can post a DX diag of the specs for my computer, just so that you know what I'm working with. And feel free to pass your judgment on what you feel is the problem, because at this point, any advice or ideas is worth exploring. Alright, so that's the pre-scripted wolves dealt with. I have periodically run into some rather extreme bandits roaming on the road between Helgen and Riverwood. It doesn't happen often, but periodically there's some really big, scary, beefy boys on the road. And when you're a level 1 noodle, that's no bueno. So we're actually not going to go directly into Riverwood. First, we're going to make our way up this way, because there is a friend up here I'd like you to meet. Might be hidden in the grass. A wounded saber cat. He's caught in a trap. Seems like he's too weak to do anything. Hello, saber cat. Hey, buddy. Here, take this food. He accepts the food. Now, you can just walk around and realize he's just kind of following you, or you can just immediately talk to him. Ask him why he's following you. He wants to follow you. Okay, cool. Stay with me. Hey, you've learned the ability to call Saber. Awesome. Let's practice some commands. This gives you some basic interaction with him. The ability to send him home. Wait there. Get out of my way. And the only home you can actually send him to is Breeze Home, but you do seem to be able to send him there even if you've never been. So I don't think you need to own it. I don't think you have to have even gone to Whiterun. You could just send him there. But honestly, he's a pretty good companion. Two things I will point out at this point now. As you can see, Riverwood is one of the places where I suffer frame loss. But one of the things I will point out is Sabretooth, he can physically block you. But if you run into him, he tries to get out of your way. So he's at least intelligent. Farron, because he's actually a human follower, cannot block me. We will just pass through each other. If we're stuck on a staircase or whatever, your followers can't actually push you off the edge. Only animal ones can. So here we are in beautiful Riverwood, nicely touched up. Looks amazing. And let's take that look at Bleak Falls Barrow. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And look at that sky. I mean, sure, it's cloudy as all heck right now, but look at that sky. The draw distances, the detail, everything. Oh, they've done such good work. I really, really am impressed with all the work they've done. Okay, so I'm not actually going to stop and talk to Lorkhan or anything like that. This is something that's been added in from my tea brewing pack. It's just basically a drinking fountain, and you can use it to fill up the empty bottles, the empty buckets, which are required to make tea. One more thing I do want to show you before we leave Riverwood, though, is there is a free player home with 2 child beds. Now, the reason I mention that there's only 2 child beds is because in this mod you are allowed to have up to 6 children. The key is, quite obviously, as always, hiding in the mailbox. However, there is a bizarre glitch that doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, the key may not spawn in the mailbox. Sometimes it's on the ground nearby, and you can sometimes find it. If you absolutely can't find it, the official solution is to walk up to the door, tilde, click on it, unlock, and then just go inside. That is the official way to get around it if the key is just completely not spawned for some reason. I will show you where the spare key is, because there is a spare key. However, the spare key is inside the house, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a spare key. Now, this home location is actually really, really nicely made. It's compact, but it has everything you could need for a player home. It looks beautiful, lots of detail, personal touches you can tell by the creators. It's actually just a really nice overall little player home, early game. Nice little sort of semi-open concept. I like it. You know, it's just overall pretty good. So again, I'm losing frame rates, but that seems to happen basically anywhere in Riverwood. I don't know why. This is the room I'm looking for. Curious map. What does that say? Oh, wait a minute. Open panel. What's this? And there's a box. And there you go, the spare key. And we'll just close the panel, you know, in case any hoodlums decide to break into our house. I have no idea if that's even really a thing in this one. But hey, there are so many things in this mod pack that I'm not going to make any assumptions. Oh yeah, bathroom. Literally a bathing room. Get the heck out of my way, Sabretooth. There we go. So we'll just go back up the stairs and continue on our way to Whiterun. Some parts of Whiterun, fairly specific parts of Whiterun, I also suffer frame loss. So that's why we're going to be adventuring the rest of the way to Whiterun as well. I really apologize for how many frames just seem to vanish there. It's just something I've learned to live with. So the trip to Whiterun will probably be more or less uneventful. There's a chance encounter of wolves up here, but sometimes they're on the other side of the river. Other than that, we're not likely to run into much until the giant. So let's just... Oh look, one of the wolves actually is on this side of the river today. So let's just go deal with that. Okay, that's dealt with. We'll just continue making our way down the road. Really wish I had remembered to set my sprint key, but I'm not going to bother doing that at the moment because we're just, you know, it's not that far to Whiterun. It won't take us that long. Alright, so sometimes there's Imperials or Thalmor with a prisoner around here, but they can get quite a ways down the road sometimes, so no guarantee I'm even going to run into them. Also, on a side note, if you happen to run into the revelers, basically the drunk people partying at the side of the road, it's a totally random chance encounter. If you have 2 bottles of Hunting Brew mead, give them to the guy for free. Just be like, why stop at 1 bottle, friend? Have 2. And he will then in turn give you Charmed Necklace. Charmed Necklace is one of the few other items that increases your carry capacity. So if you have the Shield of Lorkhan, the Charmed Necklace, and you have a backpack. You can then get the boots of hauling, and you can carry a ridiculous amount. I know I've been going on about the free inventory that's completely unlimited on my companion, but it is kind of nice to know that if you're going for a more traditional play style where the weight in your inventory is meant to matter, that you can still sort of have that experience. You can increase your weight capacity and yeah, carry more that way and just use the regular inventory. So you're even able to just completely disable the additional follower inventory if you don't want it. Alright, so let's just get this little introduction out of the way. I'm sure we all know who Ayla is.
Not for me to the old man's if you go to him.
And yeah, pretty much all the major NPCs and followers and stuff have also been touched up. Like, when I said that they've updated just about everything in the game, they really have. I find it hard to recognize vanilla elements of the game because they've disguised many of them very well with the modern touch-ups. And then just hang around and listen to this conversation long enough so that we learn about Cicero up the road. Fun fact about Cicero, he's absolutely insane, but he's a top Dark Brotherhood assassin. Whether you want to help him or send him into the guards, that's entirely up to you. But personally, I think helping him is the better way to solve that problem. I personally don't want one of the Brotherhood's top assassins with a grudge. Alright, and we are of course just going to bluff our way in, because the guard here is extremely gullible. I don't even know if it's possible to fail that speech check. Okay, so quite often when I load into Whiterun, it starts off with a pretty good frame rate. But then as I get up to the second tier, where the shops are, and then from there going up towards Dragonreach, all of a sudden I tend to lose a large number of frames. Just warning before we get there, because some days it's extremely bad. And of course Whiterun will take a little bit longer to load because it's the first time I've loaded the area and it's a large area. Alright, so here we go. Quest board, that's always fun. Good way to just keep working at small quests and stuff. Especially if you're doing the Survive 100 Days challenge, those are always fun. So we're going to pop in here to the inn, because there are 2 quests we can quickly pick up here.
Thank you. No, please.
Welcome.
Okay, so first quest, Pets of Skyrim. This will lead you towards the 5 main pets from the Anniversary Edition. The other 2 from the Anniversary Edition are from the Saints and Seducers content, and they are bandit camps, and you get an Elytra nymph from one from each. It's a pretty interesting little companion. So far the frame loss hasn't been too extreme, but around this tree is where it usually happens the worst. There was a little bit there, but honestly it's not bad right now. I'm impressed. I thought it would be a lot worse given that I'm recording, but maybe I just got lucky. Alright, so we'll head on up to Dragon's Reach, and I will show you that the rest of the vanilla storyline does still, in fact, exist. Even though we've completely bypassed Bleak Falls Barrow and the whole almost getting killed by a dragon and execution in one day. Okay, so this is something else you'll notice happens a lot, is just random adventurers running in. There's a lot of people who are literally just doing quests apparently for the kingdom. There's also a number of new outfits. Some of them are cropped, some of them I think Irileth gets access to, even though she maybe shouldn't, because they kind of clash half the time. I don't think I've seen this one before though.
What's the meaning of this interruption? Jarl Balgruuf? Well, that explains why the guards let you in. Come on.
And it's as easy as that. We've started the main quest line. We talked to the Jarl. I wasn't there, but I saw the devastation, blah 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 blah. Then they'll talk for a bit, and you go talk to Farengar. Farengar is probably one of the most useful people early on. He has lots of stuff you can quite easily just... Actually, here, let's do it here. We'll just open that door here, we'll grab this. Where did it go? I ran it into the door. Where did it go? Oh, it went flying. It's on the floor. Okay. Oh yeah, you just literally drag stuff in here and then you can just pick it up and no one cares. Alright, so where's the Jarl? Has he started to come back over here yet? Alright, I have to come back and talk to him.
Come, let's go find Father.
Okay, now we can talk to Farengar. And now we wait, because the Jarl walks at the snail's pace.
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the yes. Well,
I
when
mean, we've all heard
fetch,
this, so I'm just
I really
skipping
mean
through all of
delve
it.
into a danger straight
Where
to
am
the
I
point.
going? What am I fetching?
go
Blah,
to
blah,
Bleak
blah, blah,
Falls
blah.
Barrow.
Oh, do you mean this? Ah, the
the dragon stone of
Yes,
Bleak
yes,
Falls
yes.
Barrow.
I got your stone. Now Irileth comes in, there's a dragon. The Jarl is now running because he has to get there before us. And yeah, up here has been touched up quite a bit too. There's lots of new and interesting stuff to look at. But we're not here for that at the moment. Why does everyone walk so slow? Hurry up, you. Give your report to the Jarl. Chop chop. No, don't look at me, look at him. Are you not the guy who has to give the report?
So, Irileth tells you
Oh, here or
the
there.
Western Watchtower?
And of course, Irileth has changed her outfit yet again. Not entirely sure why she seems to change her outfit so much.
Coming from the south. It was false. Faster than anything I've ever seen.
What did it do? Is it attacking the Watchtower?
No, Mike. It was just circling overhead when I left. I never ran so fast in my life. I thought it would come after me for sure.
Blah, 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 blah.
We'll
Come
take
on.
it from here. Head down to the barracks for some food and rest. Burn. Irileth, you better gather some guardsmen and get down there.
I've already ordered my men to muster men.
Good. Don't fail me. There's no title. I want you, but I have...
Yes, yes, yes. Reward.
And please, accept this gift from my personal army.
You should come along.
There we go.
I'd very much like to see this place.
Oh, Iron Shield of Resist Frost. That's actually not bad. Did I actually pick up a bow earlier? No I didn't. Oversight. Okay. Well, I think given that I have to go back and grab a bow at some point, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get ourselves to the front of Whiterun, on track to go out and fight us a dragon in the next video. I hope this has been an interesting quick look at just sort of the general what has been done to Skyrim with all these mods. There is still a ton for me to go through. I haven't even enabled the flying features yet that I've added in with my collection. There is just an endless amount of stuff that needs to be shown. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thank you very much. Have a good night.